Welcome to the monthly Speaker Circle community call. This is a monthly training along with Q&A and networking. And if you are a coach, consultant, or small business owner, you are in the right place because this podcast is all about how to write and deliver amazing presentations and communicate with confidence. Welcome, everybody. This month, we are going to be talking about your speaker assets, looking like a professional speaker. Because one of the big questions that I get all the time is, how do I get paid to speak? And one of the secrets is to look like you're getting paid to speak. And so how do you do that? You've got to take advantage of the opportunities that you have to speak so that you look like a pro and you get speaker assets. And what I mean by speaker assets is pictures, video, not just of you speaking, but also interacting with the audience before, during, and after your speech. Now, you're probably thinking, but what do I do, Laurie-Ann, when I'm speaking virtually? Hey, you can set up a little tripod. I have taken pictures of the gallery and because I don't have people's permission to have their faces on my pictures, I will just make the screen, my computer screen, blurry, but there I am. Or you can ask, a family member to take your picture from behind or maybe off on an angle so that you're getting the screen, you're seeing that you're the speaker. And if you have a standing desk, you're just standing up, speaking to your people, speaking to the different events that you are hired to speak at. Let's talk more about the in-person event, because in the beginning, it can be really hard to get those speaker assets. So what I want you to do is to make sure that you always have a wireless handheld microphone. And if you make that special request, they will grant that. Now, in most hotels, it is actually more expensive for them to rent the wireless compared to the wired microphone. But always ask for that wireless because, hey, ladies, I don't want to be tripping with my heels over the wires. So I always ask for a wireless. And the reason why I'm choosing a wireless microphone is because I want you to look like the speaker in the room, not like somebody who just happens to be well dressed, stood up at their table to ask the speaker who's in the front of the room a question. So I want you always to look like the speaker. If they are videotaping or have a photographer for the event, make sure you ask for copies of that. You can just ask for the raw footage. That will work as well. And then you'll have those assets to edit accordingly, use as you would like. There have been a number of times that I have spoken for some bigger events, and they hired like a local cable show. A local cable channel actually came in and did all the videotaping for this. I just went up to him and asked him, would you be able to make a copy of this for me? And I even asked him for like the raw footage. He did such a beautiful job. It did take me a few months to get that copy, but he did a beautiful job at editing this video, which I really appreciate. And a lot of times conferences have photographers that are walking around and taking pictures. You could actually ask them like, hey, would you mind? And another tip that I have not done, but my fellow speaker friends have done this. If you're looking for video and you're like, I didn't have time to hire a videographer, you could probably find somebody who works at the hotel that might be working the conference or somebody else and just pay them like $20, $30 and hand them your phone. Would you videotape this for me? And they'll be in the back of the room and they're videotaping, or you could even ask them to take pictures as well. So that's another idea. If you are speaking during the week, there are lots of wedding videographers who are doing nothing. I have hired several wedding videographers for the middle of the week programs. I just put out an ad. This is the time. This is the location. And what you want to do is you just want to ask them, what kind of a camera do they have, so that you can Google it and make sure somebody's not going to show up with their iPhone, 15 or 16 as of in a few weeks. You want to make sure that somebody has a professional camera. So that's an idea that I have gotten some great video, and also it doesn't cost very much. I just ask them to give me the raw footage and I will show up with some sort of a jump drive or an SD card, and they can just download the files, and then I go off on my merry way. And so do they. If you have family or friends who are attending, you could ask them to video, even take photographs. A lot of times when my private clients have family members that are going to attend their events because maybe it's their first time, I always tell them, make sure your parents or your friends each bring their phone and tell them to use it horizontally, and then assign your friends to be in the back on either side. We don't want our friends all hanging out on the right-hand side, and then you're not getting any video or photographs from the opposite side of the room. And just tell them to take as many pictures as they want, because you can always edit and discard them afterwards. Another great thing that I would encourage you to do is when you're about to say something brilliant, like your signature line, something that you know is just going to you want really good video of this. Look in the camera. Wherever you have the camera placed, wherever your videographer is, wherever a friend or a family is, or the hotel staff that you've asked to videotape, look in the camera. Nobody in your audience is going to know. And here's why. I don't want you saying the brilliant thing that you're going to say, and then you've got this side profile view. And I realize that if you're listening to this audio podcast, just think of just only seeing this profile view as I say something so dramatic, versus if I'm looking right in the camera. My catchphrase is, speaking is the fastest way to grow your business. It's just going to be more effective if you just look in the camera. Your audience won't know. They will just think that you are looking at the people that are in the back of the room or whoever's around the cameraman. Think of your outfit, the outfit that you're wearing on stage. You want to make sure that it doesn't date you. So I like to stick with something that's very classic, something that still is with my personality, but I can get a lot of mileage out of. And when I mean mileage, I mean years out of. We don't want to wear something that's too trendy, because then it'll look like, oh, that's definitely from a few years ago. This is a mistake that I made during your pre-meeting, especially for a big event. If they have a curtain, they probably already picked the color, and they probably already know what the color is. Ask what the color of that curtain is. Here's why. A number of years ago, I did a big event, and it's the one question I forgot to ask. And I have a speaker dress, and it's navy blue. And I walked in the night before to check out the room and see how everything was set up, because that's what I do. And I looked at the curtain and I was like, oh, darn, it's navy blue. I didn't ask. I would have looked like a bobbing head with my navy blue dress on, with the navy blue curtain behind me. Lucky for me, I was speaking in the afternoon, and this hotel was right near an outlet mall. So that's where I went. The following morning was to shop for a dress under pressure. But I did find something that contrasts that navy blue. So keep that in mind. Or if they don't know, travel with two outfits, a light one and a dark one. And then I would also encourage you, for your speaker assets, is also testimonials. Have a process for getting testimonials from the people who hired you, and even the people who are in the audience. After you finish speaking, people are going to come up to you and speak to you. They'll have questions. They'll say, I love that story. This is my situation. The people who you can tell like they really got a lot out of what you said, ask them, would you do a video testimonial? And most of the time, I have found that people have said yes. In most of these cases, these bigger events, my sister has traveled with me. She's a fantastic back of the room girl. And so I usually will say, could you go see the young lady that's outside the door? She's actually taping video testimonials for me right now. And people will just go and line up and they'll say what they want to say. And it's really easy. So that is what I wanted to share with you all, because looking like a pro, it just takes It takes discipline to do these things. And I will admit, when I first started speaking, there's a lot of these things that I just didn't do. Like, I didn't take a lot of pictures. I didn't take a lot of video because I was like, oh no, I just didn't want to bother them. But actually, it really would have benefited me, in the end. So don't be shy about it. Ask them, because if they say no, they say no. But you never know. They might actually say yes. So, what questions do you have? Feel free just to unmute yourself.
So I have a question. I currently have speaking positions in my daytime job. So I have a lot of things there, but I want to transition my side business into more speaking. It started as like a decluttering and helping moms, but now I'd like to go into like the behavioral and like self-care side. Um, do you think a good step is taking videos of my decluttering and doing like a voiceover with that? Or like, how could I transition into getting those speaking roles? Because if you obviously aren't speaking in front of big crowds, how do I get the footage?
Right, right. So I definitely would. Well, there are lots of secrets to actually doing this. Your day job, I mean, maybe you could take some pictures. And I would say, like, in the back of the room, maybe, so that you're just seeing the back of people's heads. That will give you something. You could ask somebody just to take pictures of you in the front of the room. That's another idea. And like, there's no people. Let's not worry about like having all your pictures with people. Does that make sense? And then you doing your magic, well, that is going to require a closet. So I would say yes. One of my former clients is a home organizer, and she does lots of stories on Instagram, the befores and afters, and she just has a lot of fun with it. So I think you doing both voiceovers and like whatever you can get, because meeting planners are going to our social media. They're not just looking at the pretty videos like the nice little sizzle reels. They also want to really get to know you and see, like, what is this person really like? Because meeting planners know that those sizzle reels, that's your best stuff. That's you on your best behavior. But they want to see what you're also like. So your stories, your reels, and just seeing you do your magic, I think is a beautiful idea. Will you do that?
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Andrea, I'm glad you're here. We are talking about speaker assets.
Oh, yes.
We're talking about photos and videos and testimonials.
Oh, that's perfect. I actually met with somebody. I was networking today and I just got home, and she specifically does video and photography for speakers.
Very, very nice. Very
Yeah.
nice. Like, one of the tips that I gave was always have a handheld wireless microphone, especially when you're just starting out.
I carry mine in my purse.
Yeah, you want to look like the speaker.
Yes.
Yeah, not the person who just happens to be asking a really good question from the audience. Yeah. Yeah. And here's another funny thing that I've done for people at conferences who feel like, when they find out that, oh, this is like, I'm a speaking coach, I help people get on stages. And I will tell people during a break, the microphone's right there on the stage. Go grab that and go stand up there.
Yeah.
And I was taking pictures of her standing on stage because it was also a dream of hers. So now she gets to have this real life photo that she can constantly see. The photographer for the event saw what I was doing, and he took pictures of her as well. So have fun with it. Definitely have fun. Anybody else got any other questions?
I had one and I cannot remember what it was, but I think it's amazing. Like, you could even, have you ever even just set up your own tripod with your camera if you don't have some there to like videotape for,
Yes.
so you get a videotape of it?
Yes. And you're obviously going to hit record from the back of the room and then walk to the front.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have a good lavalier microphone. And this is a wireless one. And I bought this on Amazon for like $20. There's 2 of them in here. I know that there's also some of my clients also have these, they're square ones. But these are great. You want to make
And do you
have good audio.
and so does that just record to your phone, or does that, and then you have a microphone obviously from the place, or is that it?
Yes, you'll end up having 2 microphones. You'll have
Okay.
this
But
that's
that
going to
records to
go.
your phone.
Yes. And the same thing with a videographer. If you were to hire a videographer, they're probably going to have some sort of a wireless mic that they're going to hook on you. And always carry an extra belt, by the way, for your outfit, because sometimes you need to hang the rest of that device on the back of you. And yeah, I've had like 2 mics on me. Easy.
Okay.
Always. But you want to make sure. And if you didn't get good audio, don't trash the video. It can literally be B-roll. There's a way to use video that maybe it's blurry or it didn't come out well, or the audio didn't come out well, or it was too dark. Just like feel free. Like if you've ever got a video that you just like you want to throw it away because it's not your best, it didn't come out the best, make sure you reach out to me and I will come up with an idea on how to use it. What other questions you got?
You know what? I have a mic right here and I like to do B-roll around me. What's a good atmosphere, since obviously I don't have a stage on my in my house? What's a good atmosphere? Is it just like going outside, going inside, like just taking photography, doing B-roll? Like, what does that look like?
You want to use your microphone to make it look like you're speaking in front of an audience?
You know what? I'm using it because I work with speakers.
So one idea, and I did this once for a conference that was all on Zoom. Like they went like room by room and we were all singing some song and I pulled out my microphone and people were commenting like somebody actually has a microphone. So like it's just having fun with it.
Okay.
And in your situation, I mean, you literally could like walk down Main Street with your microphone and just like, hey, what do you like? What's the last meeting that you ever went to? Who was the most inspiring speaker? You know, you're going to need somebody else to like videotape it, but you could have a lot of fun with it. What did you like about that speaker? What didn't you like about that speaker?
Okay. Yeah, that's fun. I like that.
Go to conferences and do the same thing.
Yeah, just like I can totally do that.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but when I go to conferences, people like all turn to me and say, what did you think of them? Funny, just fun. Yeah. It's just part of being in the business.
It is.
Let's just go into networking. What I would love for you to do is to share who you are, your website, if that's where you want to direct people, what you do, what you speak on, and how people can get a hold of you. And Andrea, would you like to go first?
Sure, why not? So I am Andrea Merrill. I live in Arizona, and speakers hire me because I help them create sticky audiences to make a shit ton of money beyond the stage. So both on and off the stage. You can find me at virtuallyadventurous.com and then follow me on socials, which is virtually adventurous. And then I speak on speaker monetization.
And don't you have a podcast?
I do have a podcast, Podium to Profit.
Thank you. Wasn't I like on episode number 2?
Yes. Yes, you were.
Yes, thank you. So everybody, make sure you go and start listening and follow her show. Miss Amy.
Well, I have to ask, what is sticky? You said sticky.
Yeah, sticky audiences. It's ones that stick
that?
with you beyond your talk. So we don't want just people in the audience that don't follow you beyond the audience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am Amy Muller. I have a creating a digital course. I had my beta course and I'm getting ready sometime in October to do my founding member. And I'm also working on a podcast. The topic is No BS Living, and it's about creating a life that you love and living it without regrets. So it's geared towards the 50 plus empty nesters or changing a career or just wondering like, who am I? Where am I going? What am I doing? And helping them figure out what, where, and when, and how to do it in the best way for them. So that's what I do.
And she's very active on Instagram. She's got some great tips. And have you decided on your podcast name?
It's going to be No BS Living.
Thank you. Thank you. There we go.
Yep.
Thank you.
That is it. Yeah. And I've written my intro, but my friend Laurie-Ann said it should be short, and it's way too long. So that's another topic for another day.
Intros.
But
yeah.
So I'm getting there. So yeah.
Good.
I love that name.
And I haven't, thank you. I have not gone the speaking route, but that is very much, I can see it. I can feel it. I know it's going to happen. I just have not done that yet. And
you're doing it.
Need to work with Laurie-Ann to do it soon. You're
doing it. You're doing it. That's all there is to it.
You're speaking right now.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
And so with her podcast, she's already recorded some episodes. Laurie-Ann.
Hi, my name is Laurie-Ann Vinos, and I have a business called The Crafty Bee Company, and I say where we create beauty and order in a chaotic world. I help overwhelmed moms manage their household by getting everybody involved and not being the only person responsible. I've written a book called Manage Your Busy Hive, and the tagline is Reclaim Your Queen Bee title by training your worker bees. So just like understanding behaviors in the household and building that relationship with your spouse, because you can't be a team if you're just roommates, and working on yourself as well, understanding like what your strengths and weaknesses are and growing from there. So I also have a podcast, but I only have about 7 episodes, and then I dropped off because I decided to turn my business a little bit. And so now I'm writing my new episodes and hoping to get that going right away. And I also create, like, the reason it's called the Crafty Bee Company, which I'm questioning changing my name because the word crafty, people think I just make crafts. But I chose crafty because I'm a former principal. And so like, I feel like I can problem solve in very different, unique ways. So I also do help create personalized products in the home to help. So that's where the word crafty came from. But sometimes people just contact me to make things. So that's kind of where I don't know. So that's me.
Well, wonderful. Curious, are you going to continue with the podcast or just recreate a new podcast?
I think I'll continue with it. I only have like 7 episodes, I think, but they are focused on like organizing and managing the home. And now I'm going to kind of turn more toward like parenting tips and things. So it all goes together. And I kind of was inspired by my book to just sort of run with that and broaden my topics. I think I was really focused on the home management systems, but realized there's just so much more in the relationship side in order to keep your home management going and strong. So I've decided to expand on that.
Wonderful. Well, let us know. I want to, keep me posted on your podcast, because I'll happily do a shout out for you on Instagram. And I love podcasting. I mean, that's what this is all about. This becomes a podcast episode. So thank you all for attending this month's Speaker Circle. You will be getting an email for the next one, which is in October, with the surprise topic. I don't like to tell everybody, but if you are listening to this, you can go to speakandstandout.com/community, and you can learn more about these monthly trainings and attend for free. And till next time, be in demand.